Jerry the black cat was the bravest cat anyone knew.
If Jerry were a pirate, he would be Blackbeard.
Larry the orange cat was a big, strong cat.
He wasn't as smart as Jerry, but he was always ready for an adventure.
Terry the gray cat was the smallest.
He was very smart, but very, very afraid of almost everything.
One day Jerry had a great idea.
"Let's go to Pittsburgh," he announced.
Pittsburgh, asked Larry. Why Pittsburgh?
I hear they have the best fish there, Jerry said, his eyes sparkling.
Fish, Larry was sold. Let's go.
Terry, of course, was worried. But what about the zombies, he squeaked.
Jerry just laughed. "Zombies aren't real, Terry," he said. "Come on, let's go."
The three cats packed their bags.
Jerry packed a map and a compass.
Larry packed a giant fish-shaped pillow.
Terry packed his favorite blanket and a book of ghost stories. He just knew this was going to be a spooky adventure.
They set off on their journey. They walked through fields of tall grass. They crossed rushing rivers on wobbly logs. They even hitched a ride on the back of a friendly milk truck.
Finally, after many days, they saw it. The Pittsburgh skyline rising up in the distance.
"We made it!" shouted Jerry.
Larry cheered, and even Terry cracked a tiny smile. The cats entered the city.
It was bigger than they had imagined, with tall buildings and busy streets.
"Look," cried Larry, pointing with a giant paw. "A fish market."
But before they could reach the market, they heard a strange sound, a moaning, groaning sound. And then they saw them.
Zombies! Just like in Terry's ghost stories, they were coming from every direction, their arms outstretched, moaning for something.
"Run!" screamed Jerry, and they ran as fast as their little legs could carry them. The cats dodged and weaved through the city streets, the zombies hot on their tails. The city was a maze of alleys and obstacles, each turn a gamble between safety and capture. The night air was filled with the eerie moans of the undead, a constant reminder of the danger lurking just behind them. Jerry led the way, his tail twitching with fear and excitement. He had always been the bravest of the group, but even he felt the weight of the situation pressing down on him. Every shadow seemed to move, every sound amplified in the silence of the night.
Jerry, are we sure this is the right way?" The uncertainty in their voices mirrored the chaos around them. The city, once familiar, now felt like an alien landscape.
Larry ran beside him, his big body bumping into things. He was not built for speed, but his loyalty to Jerry kept him going. Each collision was a painful reminder of his size, but he pushed through, determined to stay with his friends. Poor Terry brought up the rear, convinced this was the end. His mind raced with thoughts of escape, but his body was on the verge of giving up. The fear in his eyes was palpable, a stark contrast to the determination of his companions.
Oh no, this is it, we're done for! Terry's voice trembled, echoing the dread that had settled over the group. The relentless pursuit of the zombies seemed never-ending.
They ran until they could run no more. Their legs burned, and their breaths came in ragged gasps. The park ahead offered a glimmer of hope, a brief respite from the chase. They collapsed in a heap under a park bench, panting and exhausted. The cool ground was a welcome relief, but the threat was far from over. They listened intently, hoping the zombies had lost their trail. The moaning was getting closer. The shadows on the street seemed to grow longer, more menacing. The cats' hearts pounded in their chests, each beat a countdown to potential doom.
I can hear them! They're getting closer! The panic in Terry's voice was unmistakable. Every rustle of leaves, every distant footstep sent shivers down their spines.
One of the zombies, a tall, skinny one with a torn baseball cap on his head, leaned down towards them. His movements were slow, almost hesitant, as if he was unsure of what he was seeing. He looked at them, not with hunger or malice, but with curiosity. It was a look that the cats had never seen on a zombie before, a glimmer of something almost human.
"Meow?" Jerry's tentative meow broke the silence, a question hanging in the air. Could this zombie be different?
The zombie tilted his head. It was a simple gesture, but it spoke volumes. There was no aggression, no immediate threat.
"Brains?" The zombie's voice was raspy, almost childlike in its confusion. It was clear he didn't fully understand what he was looking at.
We don't have any brains to spare! Terry's response was quick, his fear still evident. The idea of reasoning with a zombie was absurd, yet here they were.
The zombie looked confused. His brow furrowed as if trying to process the situation. The cats watched, holding their breath. Then he smiled, a slow, goofy smile that showed off a missing tooth. It was a disarming gesture, one that made the cat's fear begin to ebb away. He held out a hand, palm up. The gesture was unmistakable, a sign of peace. In his hand was a half-eaten hot dog. It was an offering, a simple act of kindness that bridged the gap between the living and the undead. The cats stared at the hot dog. Then they looked at each other. They were starving.
Well, I guess it can't hurt to try.
Jerry cautiously took a step forward and sniffed the hot dog. It smelled delicious. He took a tentative bite. It tasted even better than it smelled.
Wow, this is really good.
Soon, all three cats were munching happily on the hot dog, sharing it with the friendly zombie. It turned out that the zombies weren't interested in eating cats at all. They just really liked hot dogs, and they were very lonely. They were thrilled to have some new friends to share their snacks with.
More hot dogs?
Yes, please.
The cats spent the rest of the day with their new zombie friends. They were initially hesitant, but soon realized that the zombies were just like them in many ways. They learned that the zombies loved to play games, especially ones that involved teamwork and strategy, even if they weren't very good at them. The zombies' clumsy attempts at sports made everyone laugh, breaking the ice and creating a bond. And they discovered that the zombies, despite their moans and groans, had a great sense of humor. Were actually quite funny once you got to know them. Their jokes and funny faces had everyone in stitches.
We're going to the Pirates game tonight. Want to come? It's going to be a blast.
The cats had never been to a baseball game before. It sounded like fun. They were curious and excited about what the experience would be like.
A baseball game? Count us in. We've always wanted to see one up close.
That night, they all piled into the back of a rusty pickup truck, filled with anticipation and excitement, and headed to the baseball stadium. The drive was filled with chatter and laughter as they imagined what the game would be like. The cats had never seen so many people in one place before. The sheer size of the stadium and the crowd was overwhelming. The roar of the crowd was deafening but exhilarating. The energy in the air was contagious, and the cats couldn't help but feel a rush of excitement.
This is amazing. We've never experienced anything like this before. The lights, the sounds, the atmosphere, it's all so incredible.
The cats watched in amazement as the Pirates battled their rivals on the field. The atmosphere was electric, with the crowd roaring and the tension palpable. The cats, with their wide eyes and twitching whiskers, were completely engrossed in the game. They cheered when the Pirates hit home runs and groaned when they struck out. Every swing of the bat and every catch was met with enthusiastic reactions. The cats were on the edge of their seats, their tails flicking with excitement. They even tried to teach the zombies how to do the wave with hilarious results. The zombies, with their stiff movements, struggled to keep up, but the cats were patient teachers. Laughter echoed through the stands as the zombies finally managed a clumsy wave.
Come on, like this! Wave your arms! The cats demonstrated with enthusiasm, their paws moving in perfect synchrony. The zombies watched intently, trying to mimic the movements.
As the game ended, the cats knew they had made some very special friends. The bond formed over shared experiences and laughter was strong. They exchanged high fives and paw shakes, promising to meet again. They had faced their fears, explored a new city, and discovered that sometimes the things that seem scary are actually just misunderstood. The city, with its towering buildings and bustling streets, had initially seemed daunting, but the cats had navigated it with courage and curiosity.
I can't believe how much fun we had. The day had been filled with unexpected adventures and delightful surprises. From the thrilling game to the new friendships, it was a day to remember.
They couldn't wait to get back home and tell everyone about their Pittsburgh adventure. The journey back was filled with chatter and laughter as they recounted every moment. It was a tale they would be telling for years to come. The memories of the day would be cherished and shared, becoming a part of their collective history.
What an adventure! Best day ever! The excitement in their voices was palpable and their eyes sparkled with joy.
Can't wait to tell everyone. The anticipation of sharing their story added to the thrill of the day, making it an unforgettable experience.